Well, good afternoon and welcome to 520 North Market Apartments. This is really an exciting day. It is a day of celebration, and it is a humbling moment to stand in front of you and mark this very special occasion. And we are so thankful to so many of you who have been with us every step of the way. Thank you all for being here. My name is Jody Ostich, and I am the CEO of Interfaith Housing Alliance. And on behalf of Interfaith and our partner Pearl, I welcome you to this ribbon-cutting ceremony for 520 North Market Street Apartments. Ribbon cuttings like this provide us an opportunity to reflect on everything that it took to bring us to this point. As we reflect on the past, we certainly recognize that we owe a big debt of gratitude to many people who worked so hard to bring this project from the concept stage to where we are today. You will hear from many of those people this afternoon. To say that it hasn't been smooth sailing would be an understatement. It has been a long, hard road to get this project to where it is today. But triumph cannot be had without struggle. Our triumph is in the realization that by the end of June, by the end of this month, all 59 apartments will be occupied by households who count on our collective vision that Frederick County residents deserve high quality, safe, and affordable housing. And this project, thank you. And this project is a tangible reminder to us at IHA of our mission to strengthen communities by providing affordable housing opportunities and supportive services to improve the quality of life and economic stability for seniors, working families, and individuals. At IHA, we are very proud of what our agency has been able to contribute to this project. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank and congratulate members of my team that worked on this project. Ron Morris, Nicole Prorock, Rob Condry, Crystal Thomas, Lacey Ames, Vivian Duran, Chris Stock, and Brenda Gennemans. Takes the whole team. In addition, we have several former IHA employees in the audience that contributed to this project. Thank you, Hugh Gordon and Mary Ellen Mitchell. Thank all of you for your commitment to this mission, and I am very humbled to be part of your team. I'd also like to thank Milton Bailey and Sarah Nelson from the Frederick County Department of Housing and Community Development for their unwavering support of this project and advancement of affordable housing initiatives in the county. And finally, although he is not here, I would like to thank Gani Adeyemi, who is a construction administrator for DHCD. His role is so important in ensuring the delivery of a quality product to those who will live here for years to come. So up next, I'd like to introduce to you Dave Urim, who is the principal and co-founder of Pearl. I learned today from Dave, I was picking his brain before this meeting, IHA has had a relationship with Pearl reaching back to 2006. So Dave has seen many iterations of IHA, many administrations, and this project, 520 North Market Street, marks our 5th collaboration together. Dave, I want to thank you and your team for your partnership with IHA on the beautiful delivery of this beautiful project. Come on up.
You know, sometimes partnership, can you guys hear me? Sometimes partnership is defined by the successes that you have, and in other times it's defined by the character that emerges, you know, in the middle of adversity. And, you know, the IHA-Pearl relationship has gone through cycles of both over the many years that we've been together, and we appreciate Interfaith sticking with us through the insanity here over the last few years. I'm Dave Urim. I'm a principal with Pearl. We are a developer and builder. We are the developer and builder on this project. We have done about 6,000 units across our 9-state footprint. And I have to say, standing here today, I'm literally humbled and honored, to be in this position. I get to represent the organization, right? I represent a huge team of people who were involved in making this thing happen. And we'll talk through names, we'll talk through organization and structure here a little bit, but the cliche of it's a village never is more true than on a tax credit finance project. It is truly unbelievable. So I have 3 minutes or less. I'm going to hurry up here, but I guess within the context of this achievement that we all are celebrating today, how do you describe 520 North Market? I mean, what an unbelievable effort. As I was sitting and thinking about this today, I might describe it as a technical triumph. If you look side to side and you look behind you here, you can see the amazingly tight site and conditions through which we had to develop this project. This is 1.23 acres on which we've located 59 units, on which we have a parking deck, we have new construction, we have adaptive reuse of a historic school. We have overcome a lot in this project, and the technical expertise that came to bear from our architectural partners to our structural engineers to our contractors, despite the adversity, really was amazing. And that really is maybe the second way I would describe this project, overcoming adversity. As some of you may know, and I guess I should start by saying, who knows how long this project has been going on? At the end of 2015, we submitted a tax credit application to CDA. We were funded in February of 2016, and it's been pretty much since till last week for all intents and purposes, right? We got into this project, and in working in the roof, realized that suddenly, after we had plans drawn up and an entire approach to the project, that thick steel beams were led across the top of the building, top of this old school, which impacted the very structural foundation of the school. It was actually holding the walls of the school in place. Well, the drawings for the project did not incorporate that steel beam. We had no idea the steel beam was there. That was adversity number one. Adversity number two was some of the fire damage that we found in the roof, which challenged the fundamental structural integrity of the roof. We didn't really have a redesign that dealt with that. So that's how the project started, and there were many, many iterations after that we had to sort of overcome. Mold, we had a challenge of removing an existing light pole from the back of the site. We couldn't actually do construction because we couldn't get the light pole relocated. It took Jan Gardner and the county and almost an act of Congress to get the utility company to move the pole. It was unbelievable. You have challenges in a project, but you also have the challenges of transitions. And through the course of this project, every single organization that we were associated with went through transitions. CDA, along the way, we lost our dear friend Mike Kunzel, who I think we're going to celebrate here later in the ceremony. At Interfaith, we had an entire new organization structure kind of come in midstream in the middle of chaos. And at Pearl, as many of you may know, we went through some big transitions on the construction side. It was so crazy at one point in time. We actually had a newsletter go out around our company talking about the different ghost sightings in the building, which is a little creepy and crazy, to the point where at the very end of the project, as you well know, we had an elevator inspector come from the state. And from my understanding, all the weight tests on the elevator were done. It looked good. We were going to get our inspection. The state inspector showed up, and he had a seizure. And he literally had a seizure on site. They had to remove him with an ambulance, and we literally couldn't get the elevator inspection. It's absolutely sort of the tone of this whole deal. But that said, this group's wherewithal, all of our partners together, kind of grinding through it to get it done. I mean, we made a commitment. All of us made a commitment, and it was very important for us to sort of follow through. So with that said, I really want to thank Interfaith Housing Alliance, Ron and Jody and your staff. Thank you for being by our side. Thank you for the patience. To the county, to Jan Gardner, who you were an early advocate for this project very early on when it was maybe a little bit challenging to put affordable housing on Market Street. your support, your political support, your ability to award us the opportunity to buy this project, and the financial support has been amazing in helping this thing happen. To the city, Mayor O'Connor is here, and we appreciate him very much. The Pearl team, I want to talk about the fact that our Pearl team, we kind of ran through about 5 different groups of people in the course of this project. It's a very, very hard project, but I want to call out a few folks just to thank them. You know, Ian Smith and Mike Jones, Brad Moen, these individuals kind of came forward. You know, they don't have ownership in the real estate that is 520. The mission of what we do and the commitments of what we sort of put forward, that was their ultimate motivation. And they came in and they did what they had to do at great sort of stress to their personal lives and their family lives, and we appreciate them very much. Jamie Farber, who's a local boy, who I haven't seen here today, but he was hugely involved. Mary Ellen Melcher, Meg Manley, and of course, Rick Adante, who's here with us today, who is the new head of Pearl Contractors, and just led an amazing team to do what they needed to do to get this thing across the finish line. So I might also describe this project as that of a public-private partnership. We use these terms, they're almost a cliche already, but just to give you a very quick sense, a project like this costs $20 million, soup to nuts. The rents being charged here are 80%, are 25 to 80% below market. It's literally infeasible to do a project like this without tremendous resources coming to bear to help make it happen. 79% of the funding that is brought to bear on a project like this comes through CDA, that Housing and Community Development Administration of Maryland. Brian O'Toole is here, and Ghani Ademi is not here, I believe, but he was on the construction side. You know, the agency brought $15.8 million to bear to help make this project happen. Bank of America is the investor in the deal. They bought the tax credits and provided the first mortgage to the development of, and the first mortgage was $2.3 million. That's about 12% of the financing stack, just that mortgage piece. And then about 10% of the stack comes from the county, who gave direct financial benefit, Federal Home Loan Bank, and the partners. The real story here, and we can talk about how unique that is, right? Local government, state government, private industry, private developers, nonprofit community developers, all coming together to make this happen. But the real story at the end of the day is the need and the demand for affordable housing. And as I mentioned, it's literally not possible without the LIHTC. So with the low-income housing tax credit. Let's talk about that for a second. We are targeting families here at 520 that are severely cost burdened. That's a term that we use in the industry, severely cost burdened. What does that mean? That means that a household is paying 50% or more of their monthly income for rent. That's severely cost burdened, okay? 50% or more of their monthly income on rent. 1 in 4 renters nationally qualify under that statement of severely rent burdened. 1 in 4. That means today, 11.4 million people across the country, renters across the country, are severely rent burdened. That number is anticipated to grow to 14.8 million by 2025. This demand is so intense, and the production is there, but it can never meet the demand. There's been 3 million units placed in service under this program since 1986. So 14.8 million demand, 3 million units placed in service. And we've already lost about 650,000 of those units due to obsolescence or conversion to market rate. So the real story here is we are providing stability to households in need. We're helping families stay together. We're helping provide a little less pressure with monthly financial needs, which might mean the capability of paying for better clothes or better school, or just a little less stress, which ultimately allows for a better quality of life. So we're proud as Pearl to be a part of this effort. We appreciate the dedication of so many people that came to bear, and I just want to wish everybody congratulations. This is amazing. Thank you.
Next, I'd like to welcome our County Executive, Jan Gardner, to the podium. And Jan, I really want to thank you for the role that you played in the reuse of this school building and support for the project overall. I know that I speak for many that are present when I say we deeply appreciate your support of affordable housing initiatives in Frederick County.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is a beautiful day here in Frederick County for so many wonderful reasons. It really is exciting to finally reach this day. It has been a long time coming to be here to celebrate this very collaborative project. And I don't want to talk too long. In fact, it may be the first time you have an elected official who's shorter than a developer in public speaking. This project has been really important to county and to my administration. I do want to give a shout out to the county elected officials who are here, Councilwoman Jessica Fitzwater and Councilman Jerry Donald, because, you know, we had our own challenges to sell out county property. You have to surplus it and find out there's no other government use for it. And then, of course, when the lawyers got involved, they said, well, when the school system transferred the property to the county, there was a little strip of land that they didn't transfer, so you have to go back to the state, to the Board of Public Works, to get approval for this little strip of land to be added to the county property to be sold. So, you know, we had all of those kinds of challenges too. And certainly early on, we wanted to have a good public process. And certainly IHA and Pearl, I think that was a little bit new for some of the people who were involved. And certainly Mary Ellen Mitchell at the time was with IHA and is now in the Affordable Housing Council. So I have to say, well, some of the faces have changed. They've all stayed in affordable housing. They're just at a different place. And I want to give a special shout out to Margaret Nussbaum, who really has been supportive of this project, helped coordinate all those public outreach meetings and get that community support for this project, which I think pays dividends not just in the near term, but in the long term. So this project has transformed a former school and a former vacant county office building into this beautiful, modern, affordable rental housing project. And as we walked up here, Heidi Keeney, who's taking pictures, said to me, I used to work in that building. And I know you, Gordon, who's here somewhere in the back, who was with the IHA and is now with the Affordable Housing Council, went to first grade here. So, you know, there's a lot of people in this community who have a special connection to this property. So I've been looking forward to this day for at least 4 years. And, but I'm happy that it is finally here. So together, local government, IHA, Pearl, and a lot of others, Bruce Zavos with the architecture, the city partnered with a pilot for the tax credits. I really have to give a shout out to Ken Holt with the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development for the support for the LIHTC, which is the tax credit. And really just a lot of people were involved to make sure that this project would be what it is today. So because this building was located in the city's historic district, of course, the older portion of it had to meet the Historic Preservation Commission requirements, but I think all the work has been well worth it. The project exemplifies best practices, it's infill development, it reinvests in our core community, it's smart growth, it helps to meet the community need for housing for millennials, for families, for seniors, for people with disability, and really for everybody. The location is perfect. Residents have access to transit, to employment. They can walk downtown to restaurants and stores, and all the vibrancy downtown has to offer. I really think this is Frederick County at its best. Frederick County is a great place where we have great partnerships and great collaborations and people working together to accomplish wonderful things. It preserves a piece of our rich history, which is the older part of the building, and it helps to ensure a bright future for the neighborhood and for this community. It adds people, new life, and vibrancy to this block of the city of Frederick. So together we're leveraging our assets, and you know the assets here are not just money, but buildings and land, and sometimes that's really a key piece to making any kind of affordable housing project move forward. So thank you to everybody who's touched this project. It really is a great day, and congratulations to everyone for a job well done.
Next, we will hear from Mayor Michael O'Connor. Mayor, I want to thank you for the support of affordable housing development in downtown Frederick, please.
Thank you so much. It is an absolute honor to be here, and I want to recognize Alderman Kelly Russell, Alderman Derek Shackelford, and Alderman Roger Wilson, who are here from the city of Frederick as well. This project, I want to believe, because it's true, has had strong city support from the very moment that it was proposed. And it has been a recurring theme through this that no great triumph comes without some adversity. I will never have the joys of knowing what childbirth is all about from a delivery perspective, but I know from what I observed is that that beautiful baby that comes out at the end arrives with a lot of pain and a lot of love and a lot of care, and that really has been what this project has been about for the people who have been involved with it from the very beginning. I'm struck very much by a couple of things that you said, Dave. Number one, if it required an act of Congress to get that poll moved, it wouldn't have happened. So be glad that you were dealing with local government, because that is actually where we can in meaningful ways accomplish a great deal. The other piece that really strikes me is that this is 58 units, 59, and the need is 11 million or more. And this is exactly how the challenge of affordable housing, and those of you who work in these industries every day, this is how this problem will be addressed. We're not going to magically make 11 million new housing units appear tomorrow. We're going to do it 59 units at a time, and 12 units at a time, and 27 units at a time. And we have all of these projects now that are working their way through the pipeline in the city and the county to try and bring these kinds of affordable housing projects to fruition, one unit, one building at a time. And that is the only way as a community we will ever solve the major issues and the major challenges that we have, is to take each one of them one at a time and apply as much energy and attention as we can in order to achieve what it is that we have set out to do. And so it really is wonderful to be here. If you had any problems with the city of Frederick in getting this process through, please talk to me about that privately. Because, but I know that I know that these are not easy, but it requires everybody to, at least at the beginning, to make the commitment to say that we want it to happen. We have a certificate that we certainly want to present as part of this ribbon cutting today. With enthusiasm, we cut the ribbon on this innovative, exemplary new housing that meets the high standards set by our municipal planners and creative community partners, the Interfaith Housing Alliance and developer Pearl. The apartments at 520 North Market Street fill a need for affordable housing, creatively reuse an existing space, advance our sustainability goals, promote economic vibrancy, and strengthen our neighborhood community. We celebrate this reinvestment in our core community to provide modern amenities and attractive housing for people of all ages. Signed by the mayor on behalf of the Board of Aldermen and the residents of the city of Frederick. We thank you, those of you who have advocated and worked so hard on this project. Keep up the fantastic work you do on behalf of our community. You want to be in the picture also?
Yeah, come on, Dave.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. We are at that point in the afternoon where we are going to honor a very special person. I'd like to welcome John Manival, the Deputy Director of Multifamily Housing at the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, here to the podium. John is here today to help us honor Michael Kunzel, who was part of this 520 project as a construction supervisor. Mike passed away in September of 2017 as this project was under construction. And today we are dedicating the rooftop patio to Mike's memory. So on behalf of IHA and Pearl to Mike's DHCD family, I'd like to read this plaque that we'll have mounted. It says, "This rooftop patio is dedicated to the memory of Michael Kunzel. We celebrate his commitment to creating and preserving affordable housing. In his work with the Maryland Department of Housing and Community Development, Michael was committed to the highest standards of design and construction for safe, energy efficient, and affordable communities like this one. He believed in the power of affordable housing to revitalize neighborhoods. Michael's passion and leadership inspired co-workers and development partners alike. His legacy as an inspiring colleague, a caring mentor, and a warm friend will never be forgotten.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. And could you please step with me to the family? Yeah. Would you mind? Let's take a picture. Yeah. Thank you.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you. So in 2016, IHA celebrated 25 years of service to the community. And at that dinner, we announced that we would be honoring Dan Ryan and designating the community room here at 520 North Market in his honor. So Dan, as many of you know, is a successful businessman, and his company was ranked as a top home builder in the nation. It is an honor when someone as knowledgeable and generous as Dan befriends a small nonprofit like IHA. Dan's friendship with IHA goes back to the days of Bishop Murphy, right? I think I heard that. Bishop Murphy and Jim Upchurch. So please be sure to go down to the community room as part of the tours that we're offering later so that you can see that it's been designated the Dan Ryan Community Room. Dan, please come to the podium.
Oh my gosh, I'm showing my age, 25 years. You know, it seems, no, I'm looking at everyone. I can't believe it's been 25 years. It seems like yesterday that I was meeting with Bishop Murphy, and he'd be smiling right now. And what IHA has accomplished in 25 years has been amazing. From Bishop Murphy to Jim Upchurch, to Tricia Motter, and now to you, Jody. Job well done, you and your team. The tenacity that you've shown the last 5 years is remarkable. When I look at this building and I think, this is affordable housing? This is beautiful. You know, it's funny, my son is renovating a house on 5th Street, and we're excited to have you as our neighbor. I love seeing public and private work together. And hats off to the government of Frederick County. This is a step in the right direction. It all starts with shelter. You know, I'd like to think that I'm an affordable housing builder. I'm not. I can't do it. In today's environment, trying to build affordable housing is such a challenge that my heart is just lifted when I walk around these hallways and see what you've accomplished here. So I'm really proud to be part of this organization, and I hope to be for a long, long time. So thank you, Jody.
Okay, I'm really excited for our next speaker, to invite our next speaker to the podium. This is where the fruit of our collective efforts is made manifest. I'd like to welcome Cheryl Chapman to the podium. Cheryl was one of the first people to move into an apartment here at 520. Cheryl is going to share some of her story with us, and she's going to help us with our ribbon cutting a little bit later. You ready, Cheryl?
Kind of.
Okay.
Hi. Sorry for the wait. So my speech is actually in my phone instead of on a piece of paper. And I was asked to explain to you guys what living at 520 means to me. I didn't really know how to start it off because I'm not good with so many people and a little bit of words, a little bit of time either, obviously. So I just would like to read it straight from the phone if that's okay. So it says, what it means to live at 520. I always imagine a place of my own, a place to run run to behind closed doors where my crazy was okay to be open and no judgment. I haven't had my place long yet, and I still have ideas I want to bring to reality, but I definitely didn't think at 25 I would be on my own. I told myself I wanted to be in my first home by 30. Wasn't sure how God was going to do it at all, because I am what some may call a tough cookie, and to me, he's the only one that understands my hard shell. I'm not sure the way he guides me, but I have learned to really listen these past few years. And I am grateful for this opportunity to be a resident to not just one, but two amazing property managers. I mean, me following the rules used to mean I didn't get up from the dinner table until mommy told me it was okay. And now my rules consist of making sure I clean my own dishes and taking out my trash. I pray every night, and I make sure a point to do my devotions every morning, no matter if I'm eating breakfast in the bed or at a 4-seater table alone. I think people sometimes forget we are never really alone, regardless of if you may be by yourself. I am the oldest of 9 siblings and have few gray hairs, but many reasons for me wanting to be a part of this blessing was so we could have a playhouse. Though I have many responsibilities as I continue to grow, I want to stay young forever, and my neighbors help me do just that, whether they are checking up on me or inviting me over for game night and dinner. So what does it mean to live at 420, you ask? It means new beginnings, new opportunities, new growth, new doors. I'm the girl on the first floor, and I thank Interfaith Housing Alliance for seeing my potential.
So a little funny story, we were coming through one day to just check the progress of construction, and we entered one of the apartments that's directly across from Cheryl. I don't even know if you remember this. Directly across from Cheryl's, and I could not figure out how to unlock the door. Or actually, maybe it was relock the door, and Cheryl heard me struggling in the hallway. She came out of her apartment. Do you remember this? I do. You do? Okay. So she had to help me unlock the door. So thank you. So finally, please welcome Bruce Savis. I dare say you'd be hard-pressed to find a more passionate, affordable housing advocate than Bruce, except maybe for Mark Long. And they might be advocate twins, I'm not sure. But Zavis Architecture and Design were the architects on this project and are responsible for the beautiful design you see here. And IHA has had the pleasure of a long relationship with Bruce.
It is nice to finally be here today after, actually it was 5 years. The RFP was issued in 2014. So it's been a considerable amount of time. But that said, this project began with an RFP response in October 31, 2014. A leap of faith from Pearl Development and IHA with considerable economic risk. A little less than 5 years later, we're here today. Good things take time. 520 is a great example of teamwork. From the vision set forth by the development team of Pearl and IHA, to the funding from the Federal Low-Income Housing Tax Credit Program and our local DHCD, to CDA's administration of the LIHTC program, to the county for seeing the potential of this site, to the city and HPC, the Historic Preservation Commission, working to make this happen, and the contractors and the design team to put the vision into reality. This project provides clean, safe, and well-designed apartments for the people that are our backbone of our community, those who teach our children and protect our community, serve the food, attend to the health care needs, and who provide diversity and energy that makes Frederick a desirable place to live and work. Today we celebrate, but the affordability gap continues to widen in our community, and we must continue to work hard to be creative in our thinking and provide the means to create more projects like 520. Thank you.
Okay, so next on our agenda is the ribbon cutting ceremony, which will be followed by tours of the facility. You have 2 tour guides this afternoon. Ron Morris, stick your hand up, Ron. Crystal Thomas, Crystal's all the way in the back. They will be your tour guides this afternoon. We also have wonderful refreshments back here that you can avail yourself of. And we're going to do something a little unconventional. We're actually going to come behind the crowd for the ribbon cutting ceremony, better photo opportunity. So turn around, and everybody that's here with me, the speakers, please, let's go back to the railings back here.
1, 2, 3. Yay!